to infinity and beyond.
What's up, everybody? It's Roger and James here from Infinity and Beyond, presented by DisGaming.com and DisKingdom.com. In this episode, we're going to have a little bit of a discussion about PlayStation Plus, PlayStation Now, and also this new one that Xbox have launched, Xbox Gamer Pass. Where it's basically a subscription service where you get access to lots of games. Now, Xbox is one. There is like 100 games, but you can go in and you can download any of those games onto your console and you can play them. Generally older titles, lots of 360 ones, a couple of year ones. PS Plus's version of PS Now is more of a streaming service. So there is hundreds, I think there's 400 or 500 games, lots of classic PS3 ones. They've just added a load of PlayStation 4 games, including Grim Fandango Remastered and Day of the Tentacle Remastered, and they have specifically said that they are working with Disney Interactive. So we are going to see a lot of that. Just to give you another idea, last month they announced 17 titles from the PS3 era, Disney Universe, Lego Pirates of the Caribbean, Epic Mickey 2, Toy Story Mania, Cars 2, Brave, Phileas and Ferb, Bolt, G-Force, Ratatouille. The load of games there got added onto the service, so there's loads and loads of Disney games and Star Wars stuff already on the PS Now one. It's a kind of interesting thing, and they're both taking a very different approach on this, aren't they?
Yeah, they are, but it is nice to see them starting to add some PlayStation 4 games to it. But it's the streaming part that gets me. Yeah. I would much rather be able to download these games and play them anytime and not have to worry about using up my bandwidth, not having to worry about whether or not my internet connection can handle it. But, you know,
yeah,
that's Sony.
There's this part of it that's actually just like, I'm looking at it going, there's a few games here on the Disney list that I wanted to play, and, you know, maybe just like, it's like, is my internet up to the speed of it? Is streaming going to be okay? Like you say, I would rather download and do it. I think the Xbox system makes a lot more sense. There's this kind of thing with it now, isn't it, where they're looking at like their libraries and going, how can we utilize this? How can, there is almost that feeling of, I think maybe from a company of like, once the game's been out like a year or two, it's basically just no more bringing in any income. At least this brings in some income.
Yeah, I mean, the shelf life of games is very, very short these days, especially if you go into, say, the PC market. But this gives you a chance to maybe play those games you missed, keep those games in the market. And I'm sure that developers wish that you would actually just buy the game because they get more money from it that way. But even if they get a small slice of the pie, that's more than they were going to get otherwise.
I mean, I just think back to like when I was a kid of just like, going down to my local Blockbuster and renting a game every weekend, and the thing of like, if I was a kid now and you had access to this, like you've got it so, and if you're a parent as well, I'd just be like, if you're going to buy them a Christmas present or you're going to buy that, maybe don't buy them the one game, buy them a year subscription to one of these systems. And they've got access to so much content. So, I mean, I've recommended in the past to parents, get PS Plus or Game Go. Don't get them a second game that they maybe buy them that, And you do look at it, there is just so much content there. If you're a cheap gamer or if you're trying to game on the cheap, these are a good alternative. To say maybe, okay, well, I do this. Obviously you don't need either one, but you'd be like, there is so much options here to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where you're not going to get the latest and greatest. You're not going to get Shadow of War. You're not going to get Breath of the Wild. Obviously, you're not going to have it because it's not Nintendo, but that's not the point. You're not going to get what all the kids are talking about at the playground. But at the same time, that doesn't mean the quality of these games is any less than they were. And also, because you're getting them in a giant bundle, you might play games that you wouldn't have wanted to buy. Because, even at $10, there's a couple games where I'd play it, but I'd rather have the $10. But if I'm spending this money anyway to get other games, I'd be like, sure, whatever. I can blow a weekend on this game. It's gone when I'm done with it, and I get to have fun with it. So,
I mean, I think like looking at the two systems, there is a great thing. If you're a Disney fan at the minute, I'd say the PlayStation 1 is the better option because they've added a lot more titles. The Xbox Gamer Pass is still very new. I think the games are going to be rotating and stuff. It's a little bit more focused primarily on the Xbox like classic games, the Halo franchises, Gears of War, etc. But definitely worth looking at. I think you're going to find it, if there's lots of Lego games on both platforms and stuff. But no, it definitely seems a very good little option. As to like, I think like last month when we had all those Disney titles put in, I mean, I haven't used up my trial yet. I really probably should try it out, but I've got massive game backlog to finish off. But no, it's definitely a cool option, and I thought, well, it's a very, if you're not aware of them, it's definitely worth checking out. But I think for Disney fans, the PS Now option is better, but I do prefer the system of the Xbox. Oh, and he's gone mute.
Have I gone mute?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. We went mute for a second. Yeah, I prefer the Xbox version, but I think this is actually one of those areas where Xbox, ironically, has kind of shot themselves in the foot, because a lot of the games that you want to play on their Game Pass, or at least the ones they're including, they've already given away for free as part of Xbox Live. Game, which, admittedly, if you're more recent to that service, then you're not going to have the games that were given beforehand. But for long-term fans, people who've been playing since the 360 era, people who've been getting games and collecting them from Games with Gold, a lot of the games on here really aren't going to appeal to you. But, there's still a lot of very good stuff on here. I do appreciate that there's a lot of backwards compatible games on here. But, yeah, overall, the PlayStation list, for the moment, is a little bit better.
For me personally, but also, it's like you say, because I've had an Xbox Games with Gold for a few years, I've got this massive back catalogue of games that not even remotely touched. To be honest, I've got the same thing with PS Plus. My gaming digital catalogues are massive, because every month I go in and log in and I download, 10 games to my account from both systems. How many of them I play is very, very little. So yeah, it's that catch-22 of what it is. But generally, it's like I just thought, I'd bring it to anyone's attention that if you are trying to if you are budgeting a game on the cheap, then this is a good option.
It's definitely a good option, and this is great that we've got so many different options now available, because you've got, if you're a PlayStation fan, you got PlayStation Now and PlayStation Plus. If you're an Xbox fan, then you've got Games with Gold, you've got the Xbox Pass, but then you also have the EA Access Pass, which gives you access to a whole bunch of EA games. And whatever you may feel about the company morally, the EA Pass is really good, and I think they're about to add.
They literally just added. They added all
Battlefield
4,
1.
Yeah, and Titanfall 2. They're coming in September. Also, they literally just added the 4 expansion packs from Star Wars Battlefront. Right. All 4 of those have been added to it now, which kind of makes sense. But yeah, there's over like 40 games, and that's only like $3.99. That's like half the price of the other. So I saw this the other day, and I was going, that's like Battlefield and Titanfall 2 were 2 games I wanted to try out, and I'm like, $3.99, and it's not too bad. I mean, it's just like you say, so many options. You're in this kind of television mode in the minute where you got so many different gaming. The fact that EA can do their own thing shows how much stuff they've got. But again, unfortunately, if you want to play everything, you're going to need all 3.
No, it's not for the cheap if you want to have everything. But if you're only going to pick one of them, you've got a lot of good options. I actually have the EA Pass for my Xbox, specifically so I can try out games 3 days in advance, whether or not I choose to buy them. So I got to try out like Mass Effect and Andromeda, and I decided for myself that I wanted to get it, despite what the reviews said. I don't regret that. But then I also get to try out like, their golf game. Forget who the cover player on that is, and I was just like, no, this isn't a game for me. So I saved 60. Probably.
I just remember those games from the Mega Drive.
Yeah, Arnold Palmer's what was it from The Simpsons, something like that. Arnold Palmer's 3D golf. Yeah, but I knew it wasn't a game that I wanted to play, so I got that from the EA Access, and was like, okay, I got to try it. I got to try almost the full experience. They have started locking a couple things, like Battlefield 1, you can only play 2 of the single-player missions, because the 10-hour preview you have with the game would have let you complete the entire campaign. So yeah,
no, it's definitely lots of different options and stuff. You definitely want to check them out if you are well, if you just want to play lots of different games. As per usual, guys, remember to check us out over at DisKingdom.com. You can also hit that subscribe button. You can also find us on all the different audio platforms, so be free to subscribe or leave a review there. We're also this month giving away a copy of Marvel's Telltale game Guardian of the Galaxy, so you'll find all the information over at disgaming.com/giveaway. On that note, James, where can they find you?
You can find me heroiclegacy.com.
And on that note, guys, thank you very much for watching. We shall see you guys soon. Laters.